So the other thing that's probably worth noting about my video is that other than, I believe, 2 shots in the whole thing, I used one light, and it's a very small light, and it was this Aputure MC light, which can produce, it's an LED light. It produces white light, tungsten, every shade in between, as you can imagine. But the advantage of this is it will also produce anything using RGB, so red, green, blue. So it will produce any color that you want it to produce. So if you can see the blue light behind me right now, just because I've got 2 of these, and one's doing a fill light right now. This one I want to hold up and show. So I've got a different light entirely behind me right now, but this would typically be producing that blue light behind me. The MC light that I've got over this side doing the fill light is producing 5500 Kelvin. So you can see what it's able to do. So for nearly every shot, it was set to 5500, and it has to be really close on a lot of it because it's got a lot of power for the size of it.
And they're bright as hell. They're bright as hell.
They're really, really bright for the size of it. But to light a scene, it struggles. It will struggle a little. So it needs to be pretty close. I had some diffusion on it as well because it comes with a nice kind of rubberized type diffuser to go over the top. And then the scenes where it's kind of it's nighttime. Obviously, all the lights were off. Curtains were down, drawn, and so forth. Needed some light to be able to see what was going on. So I actually set this to somewhere in between tungsten and white, and had that above just shining down. So it gave more of a glow than anything else. Felt a bit more nighttime-ish. Could have said it's kind of moonlight style color, but it didn't feel right knowing that the curtains would have been closed. So I went with a warmer type of light there. But every single shot had that on it.
The cool things about these lights, I think, is they're magnetic, aren't they?
To the point where you almost can't pull them off. They're really strong.
Yeah, I love
the
these
magnets
lights.
on the back are astounding. Really good.
Yeah,
really,
you can
really
stick
good.
them to anything metal.
Yep. So the options you've got the usual kind of a screw mount at the bottom. You've got the strong magnets on the back, but they also provide you with like tongue and loop. Is that what they're called? Like Velcro style. Is it M3? The really, really tough stuff that you can stick onto the back and then stick that somewhere else if you want to be able to put it on and take it off.
Is it like industrial Velcro?
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure it's called M3 or M5. I forget now.
Yeah,
it's the same stuff I use on my pedal board, funnily enough, for my guitar. Yeah. The other really cool thing about this was that it's got some effects modes on it as well. So like it can produce what looks like a TV flickering or a light bulb faulty or a fireworks or a bomb going off, explosion, that kind of stuff, right? Probably we'll find a use for some of those at some point, just an extra little feature. And then the great part about it is they connect to your phone. And so you can, with the Aputure app, you can control every attribute to do with it. So you can change the colors. You can go from white to tungsten to your red, your blues, your greens, your yellows, your orange, whatever it might be. You can change the intensity of it as well. You can turn the lights on and off from it too. And you can save them as scenes so they connect. You can connect multiple. So I've got both of these connected to my phone. And at the time, I didn't have it connected, but now my 300D is also connected to that app. So all I need to do in a typical setup, bearing in mind I've got a slightly different light behind me today, is I can just set these up, open my phone, open that scene, and no matter what they were set to previously, if I used them for something else, they go back to all the settings that I need them to be at. One more point that's worth mentioning is they charge via USB-C, so there's no need to change the batteries, which is a plus point, but could also be a negative, depending on how long you need to use them for and whether you need them to charge quickly. But they also wireless charge as well. So if you've got a wireless charger that you put your phone on at home, they charge like that too.
Oh, wow.
It takes slightly longer to charge them, So I think all in all, if you charge them for a USB, it takes about an hour and a half from flat to be full.
So how long do they last?
About 2 hours on max power.
Oh, okay.
Which, again, for the size of it, isn't too bad. Isn't too bad. I probably don't get that much more out of one of the larger Sony-style batteries that I have on my other lights. But they take forever to charge. I mean, hours.
Yeah. 8 hours.
Yeah.
But they are pretty damn reliable. I mean, that's, they seem to be going absolutely forever. So
yeah, totally.
Love, they're very chunky.
And they're only they've gone up in price, but I got them only a few weeks ago, and I think I paid £90 each for them, which for an Aputure light, pretty unheard of as well. High quality stuff.
Given the flexibility you have for those, it's definitely worth doing, I think.
Absolutely. And so if you have a look in the video, there's a mimicked Love Actually scene towards the end. They're actually both in the scene. So I've got the 300D lighting the main kind of area. And actually, if you look over to the left-hand side on the ground, pointing up, and over to the right-hand side, kind of on the windowsill, they're actually set to kind of a yellowy, warm type of light.
Okay.
So you can see, and they weren't on max power either. So that gives you, will give you all an idea of the intensity that they'll give. So as an accent light, brilliant.
Yeah.
Second to none. If you want to try and use it as a main light, you're probably not going to be able to do it if you wanted this kind of situation.
Yeah.
It would if it was pretty close. If you were just, doing a vlog or something like that, I think it might work quite well. If it's just out of shot and you're quite close up, I think that'll work well. If you just lighten yourself to be a bit more visible and have a better picture over zoom, it's going to work brilliantly as well. And anyway, you need to get it in close.
Well, I think it's an accent light, like you said, to light certain elements in the background. They're absolutely brilliant. And of course, I mean, the other thing is, at a pinch, if you're out and you can't really take a lighting rig with you and you just need some light because you might be, I don't know, vlogging in the dark or something, you just want to light your face a little bit.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. And they're tiny too, they're, what's that, 3 inches, 4 inches by 2 or 3 inches, something like that.
And the thing, I mean, even, we're talking about a video really mainly here, but even in a photographic scenario, they could come in really handy, especially, I like those kind of lights when you're taking photos of something very small, like almost like a macro type of situation where you need to light something that's potentially, tiny, then they can come in really handy as well. Or, for effects lighting, great use.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're really impressive little lights.
I love them. Highly recommend these.